The next graph we want to consider is the time series plot. These are graphs that use time on the horizontal axis and some variable on the vertical axis. They're extremely common to use in economics, business, all sorts of things like that, but also sociology, history. This is really great stuff and it's used constantly. So this particular graph is the physical CD shipments. Yes, there used to be these things called compact discs that used to have music on them. And this shows the physical CD shipments in the United States from 1999 through 2023. There it is in all its glory. All right, so what type of graph is this? Well, it's obviously a time series graph because we see year right here. It could be sometimes months, sometimes days. In finances, they'll often do quarters for financial quarters of the year, fiscal quarters, but this is time series. Okay, estimate the number of CDs shipped in the US in 2000. Okay, so 2000 is right here. So the number of CDs shipped, well, we have to figure out what each of these is. So this is 800, this is 1,000. So the halfway point must be 900. So it looks about like 950, right? Because the dot's right around that line. So I would guess 950. Now I don't want to forget the unit. It's million. So we want to make sure we put that. 950 million. Now, one of the reasons they like using this kind of thing in economics is because it allows you to see trends. So what does this graph show us about the CD shipments in the US overall? We are seeing my adulthood and how CD shipments have plummeted during my adulthood. So we can see that overall CD shipments have plummeted. Right, fallen precipitously. It's two M's in plummet. If you don't like the word plummeted, you could say fallen drastically. Right, that's what that means. All right, how many years had an increase in sales and what were those years? Okay, so let's look. So we want to see where we see an uptick. So it looks like there's a little bit of a climb here between 1999 and 2000. So there was one climb there. And then, so really during 1999 itself. And then here's 2000, look at that, 3 and 2004. So 2003 to 2004 had a climb. So really the climb took place during that. So we would say the climb was during 2004, right? Because here was the sales in 2003 and the 2004 was higher. So 2004 had that higher sales. And that's about it. Oh, down here, 2020. See, that went up a little bit at 2020. Okay, so we had 3 years. So we had 2000. It went up a little bit to 2000. We went up a little bit in 2004. And then in 2020, because everybody's home during the pandemic with nothing better to do, and so they start gathering CDs to listen to them. All right, what year had the sharpest decline in CD shipments? Explain. Okay, so for that, we want to look for the steepest fall, which actually is kind of the longest line. It's right here. See that? See that big drop between one year and the next? That's the biggest drop we have out here. So this is 2007 right here at the start. And then this is '08. So between 2007 and 2008. So during 2008, because that's the number for 2008. So what year had the sharpest decline? It was 2008 because the line between 2007 and 2008 was the steepest well, it's the steepest line, but it's also down decreasing, most decreasing. So steepest decreasing line on the graph, right? So because that piece right there is the sharpest, longest downtrend, right? It's the biggest jump and it's decreasing.